Sony is continuing to lose safe exclusives. Uppers PlayStation 4 version was cancelled for Europe and North America. It seems that people don't wanna. It seems that these developers don't want their games censored by Sony anymore. After 2 years of development, the PS4 version is cancelled for North America and Europe. A representative of XSEED Games confirmed this news of Upper's PC release in the West. The third-person brawler released on the PS Vita in Japan, and XSEED did not provide a reason for the cancellation. Disappointing news as you can play Uppers on handheld if you still have it. Overview is that, that's the storyline of the video game. But this is continuing to happen. More and more Japanese developers are continuing to abandon Sony. And of course, the media's not going to talk about this because they love Sony. They're the ones that gave The Last of Us a 10 out of 10. They're the ones that gave that garbage a 10 out of 10. Okay? And they give every Sony exclusive a 10 out of 10. Okay? Most of them, I admit, are good, except for The Last of Us Part 2 and Knack 2. But, and Knack 2, both of those games. But more of these anime-esque games, these Japanese anime games, are continuing to abandon Sony in favor of Xbox, PC, and Nintendo, because at least they won't, censor games, even in Japan, for, Twitter, of course. And these companies are finally starting to wake up and see this, okay? And of course, the audience, of course, knows that, and they know that these games won't sell if the games are censored. Like, I know Nintendo censors their own games sometimes, but they don't ever censor third-party games. They really only censor their own games from Japan to US. Whereas again, it is Nintendo's own games. They can do whatever they want with them. This is Sony censoring third-party games to appease Twitter, and Sony is going to be struggling if they're gonna lose the weeb audience. Okay, they're gonna lose the weeb audience. Sony's gonna struggle. Of course, they'll have the normies still who will buy Spider-Man 2, buy The Last of Us 3, buy Uncharted 5, buy the Sony sequels that they keep putting out, and of course, Final Fantasy 7. And I bet Square Enix is probably gonna regret putting Final Fantasy 16 exclusive on Sony, because it'll be the only real anime game that will be exclusive to PS5, except for the few companies and again, most companies are say, okay, we'll just put a game on the Switch as well. Only Square Enix was mostly now appeals towards the West instead of Japan. That's why they have abandoned, certain gameplay for Final Fantasy games, and just make it more of a Dark Souls type of gameplay, more of, a beat 'em up and not a RPG. It isn't really a turn-based RPG anymore. It's more of like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls type RPG, where it's like a 3D RPG, there's no turn-based, where it's real-time RPG, and that's basically it. More exclusives are abandoning Sony, not surprising. That's basically it. Goodbye.